saying he brought them. I'm just saying.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good
Hey,
evening. Hey, ladies, how y'all doing?
how y'all doing?
How you doing?
Great.
Monday.
Happy Monday. How was y'all Thanksgiving?
Well,
I
you
didn't
know
have
how mine was.
at all.
I do know how yours was.
My babies cooked. My two daughters cooked, and they did they did a great job. My 12-year-old made the brown and serve rolls, and she made the sweet potatoes.
You didn't cook anything?
No, ma'am. No, I damage controlled when need to. I oversaw, but I didn't cook anything. Didn't shop either.
Nicole and I cooked everything.
I be
But we
tired.
had fun. We
Yeah,
had we had so much fun. We were playing this game called Catchphrase, and her aunt. How old is your aunt? Is she like 80?
well, she's 78.
Okay, she like 78 years old. Her aunt came in there and said, y'all act like y'all 16, 17 years old all over again. Why not? We were having a good time. We were having a good time. So I want to welcome everybody who's watching to our 5th episode of Natural Vibes. Hopefully my very dear friend will join us today. He's over in France, so we have a significant time difference. He said he was going to set his alarm. So depending on if their time went back, like he told me it was, it's either 2 or 3 a.m. there. So hopefully he set his alarm and got up. But in the meantime, we do have a few things to talk about. So this week, Nicole didn't get to give her pick on the poll. She was busy with family, having a great time. Hey, everybody. Not sure who you are, but hey. So we had to give some choices, and I got choices from some of the people from my group. And I was giving Nicole multiple weeks to use this song in the best of
I was trying to stay away from her remakes.
but I was like, I said, look, this is one of the best remakes ever done, period. So, we eventually got to do it. And I know Nicole is a huge Whitney Houston fan. So I tried to give her the opportunity to do it first before I just went in there and snatched it up. But this week I went in there and we did I Will Always Love You, the remake Whitney made of Dolly Parton. Against, well, I really shouldn't say against, but we did the best of remakes. Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly, was a remake of Lori Lieberman. I did not know, I think until last year, that it was a remake, or either some point earlier this year. I always thought that was Roberta Flack's song. And then one of our group members gave If I Were Your Girlfriend, TLC's remake of Prince. Now that's funny because I actually don't like that remake, but maybe I'm wrong.
Who remade it?
TLC.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it, but I was like, I don't think I like that. And I went back and I listened to it and I was like, yeah, I don't like it. But Whitney Houston got the most votes, of course, because that is one of the most amazing remakes that was ever done. Dolly Parton even said, I ain't sing my song like that. Can't nobody sing like Whitney Houston. Worst songs, we did Bohemian Rhapsody by Kanye West, which I picked, which wasn't a formal release. It was a cover, but it wasn't a formal release. It's something he did live. But that was originally by Queen. We had Love Me in a Special Way by IMX, remake of DeBarge. And I don't know how many people agree with this because I know there are a lot of Kiki Wyatt fans out there.
Who is IMX? Immature?
Yeah. And somebody gave me this song. I ain't gonna say who. But I was like, oh, some people might not like this because we got a lot of Kiki Wyatt fans out there who think she can sing her face off. But like this person, I think sometimes she do too much, which gets on my nerves. But they said her remake of If Only You Knew from Patti LaBelle was one of the worst ones. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how many people are going to agree with that. But the one that won was Bohemian Rhapsody. If y'all didn't hear it, click on the link. Kanye shouldn't have touched that song at all.
I can't imagine that being bad. Kanye is good.
Yes, he's my birthday twin. So
do you know the song Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
And you think Kanye could pull that off?
Yeah, Kanye is like the hip hop version of Kirk Franklin. Like Kirk Franklin, I feel like can remake anything.
Well, Kanye can't. Nichelle Nicole said that was definitely a no on the TLC remake. Okay, yeah, I didn't think I was the only one. And she also said that Kiki Wyatt does racism.
Oh, blasphemy.
And
so this is what I
think. She can sing, no doubt. She can sing, but like, girl, bring it down a notch.
This is what I think of her remake. The album version was not that good. Even on the strong parts, she was singing it in her falsetto. I think the album recorded version was kind of weak. But she's perfected it over the years because every time she performs, she sings it. And she kills it live.
Yes,
so
she does. She sang it 12 months pregnant and killed every last bit of it.
Yeah.
Now I do agree with, I think it's LaCharles, Luther Vandross's remake of Sam Cooke's Having a Party. It is a very good remake. I still like both, but he did do that.
Oh,
Bad Boy.
Yeah, Bad Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I talked about that. Did we talk about that, or did I talk about that with somebody else? We were going to include that one week because that is a great remake.
Week, I believe.
And Nichelle Nicole said she said what she said.
She said that card.
I said what I said.
Wait, I'm with her. Like, you can't deny that Kiki Wyatt is a very talented singer. She has a voice and she has power, but sometimes she just needs to dial it back a notch. Somebody said that's Mr. Kevin.
Oh, Mr. Kevin.
Okay, so that was fun. Like I said before, if any of our group members have any suggestions for great remakes or remakes that somebody shouldn't have touched, feel free to shoot it to me either on the post or in a messenger, and we'll include it one week because we do want some involvement from you guys as far as what's going on. So now a few things that have happened in history this year. This week at significant milestones. And Nichelle Nicole said yes, Luther could remake the ABCs and Luther can remake almost anything, but y'all know the one song that he remade that I was like, don't do it. He shouldn't have done it.
That was Always and Forever, right?
Always and Forever. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have done that.
Well, he did another one with Beyonce that I didn't too much care for. I can't.
Oh. The Closer I Get to You?
Yeah.
They redid that. They redid that. I don't love it. Y'all know I love Donnie and Roberta. But The Closer I Get to You was not nearly as bad as Always and Forever.
Beyonce and Luther.
Now,
why would Luther remake his own song with Beyonce?
Michelle Nicole said that nobody should touch Sade or Anita. What do y'all think about that?
Huh?
I bet
Michelle Nicole.
Layla Hathaway and Robert Glasper redid one of Sade's songs, and I loved it. Cherish the Day, and they absolutely tore it up. It was awesome. It's in my rotation, so I love that. But Anita,
I don't know if I ever heard that. Nicole, you ever heard that?
No.
I'm gonna have to go listen.
I'm
gonna have to go listen. But we have a few significant milestones in music history that we'll talk about real quick. So 50 years ago this week, Sly and the Family Stone released Family Affair. Now I know y'all know that song. I know, Nicole, I know you know that song.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tawana do because Tawana's a super old soul. 45 years ago this week, there was an assassination attempt on Bob Marley's life. Do y'all remember ever reading about that or hearing about that? He was very political. I mean, this was 1976. I was only 3, so I don't remember it, but I didn't read about it.
I was joking.
I ain't that old ago. I read about it later, but because of who they believed he supported politically, they actually tried to take him out and they shot him. And if I remember right, there was a peace concert like that week, the next day or something like that, and they were trying to get him to not do it, and he went out and did it anyway, if I remember right. 40 years ago this week, the musical Dreamgirls opened up on Broadway. 20 years ago, George Harrison passed away. He had lung cancer. He was one of the Beatles. And 20 years ago, Valerie Jones of the Jones Girls passed away. Her cause of death was always kept kind of hush-hush, but many people believe that it was related to alcoholism and depression because she struggled a lot. She was actually the sister that didn't really want to perform. She didn't like going out there, and it was like something that was really hard for her to do. They talked about that a bit when they talked about their story. So I got a question for y'all, and I'm wondering if y'all know the answer. Do you have any idea what the best-selling single of all time is? If you had to guess, what would you think?
The
best-selling single of all time.
You Got the Love. I'm just joking. I said, You Got the Love. I'm just joking.
Michael Jackson's The Bad.
Y'all want a hint?
Thriller. Was it Thriller?
What's coming up?
The Bodyguard came out today, so maybe I Will Always Love You.
No, what's coming up? What holiday is coming up?
Christmas.
This
Christmas
Night by the Temptations. I'm sorry.
This Christmas. This Christmas, or the Mariah Carey song that you hate?
Ooh.
White Christmas by Bing Crosby.
Child, I would have never guessed that.
Well, I'm not surprised you didn't guess White Christmas. You might not have guessed his version, but White Christmas is the best-selling single of all time.
Period.
And just out of curiosity, any idea, according to Rolling Stone, what is the #1 song ever made? #1 song of all time, if you had to guess. Now, Rolling Stone changes. I don't know who said Baby Bye, but we gonna get to the birthdays. Definitely. But what do y'all think is the #1 album of single of all time, according to Rolling Stone magazine?
White Christmas.
Respect.
You just Googled that. Just did it. But it is Respect by Aretha Franklin. Now they change every year. They change their mind.
Oh wow.
Every year. They adjust every year. Taylor's track? I don't know what Taylor's track is. Let me know what that is. I don't know what that is. So somebody wanted to talk about birthdays. I don't know who it is, but I will go ahead and do the birthdays since people want them. We have a few today. We have Merle Travis, that's a country singer. We have Chuck Mangione. Y'all know who that is? They got that. Yeah, I can't do it, but Roger Troutman. Y'all know who that is. Will Downing, that's who won it, and I don't know. I know LaCharles is a huge Will Downing fan, so I'm wondering if he's the one who said, "Tell Will Downing happy birthday." It is Will Downing's birthday. Happy birthday, Will Downing. A guy named Wallace Buchanan, he's part of Jamiroquai.
I love Jamiroquai.
Now, I wonder how many people still don't know Jamiroquai is a group, not a person.
I used to think it was a person.
I used to think it was a person too.
It was a person. I thought
Yeah. Oh, okay. So somebody said I need to send them a tutorial on how to add their names. Okay. So if you are looking through my Facebook group, there should be a link that you click that says give permission to show your name or change Facebook permissions or something like that. It should be on the post itself if you're looking through the group. If you're looking on my page, it should be public and your name should appear. And if you're looking through YouTube, that I don't know how to do.
It automatically pops up on YouTube.
You said what?
It automatically pops up on YouTube.
Does it? Okay. So That's how it is. If you're looking through the Facebook group, then there's a link directly on the post that says allow or change Facebook permissions. Click that, change the permissions, and your name will show up. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
What? Opie. I've seen it before.
Pronounce it to what I think it says.
I have no idea. I need to go look that up in the dictionary. Okay, couple more birthdays. Jonathan Knight from New Kids on the Block. And do y'all know who Jason Terrell Taylor is? Y'all know who that is?
Mm-mm.
The
From
Game.
Where? Huh?
The Game.
Oh wow. His name is JCI. I knew that because it's my little cousin's name. His name is JCI.
I was like, that's different. JCI. Okay, a few more birthdays this week. Dick Clark, Luther Ingram, June Pointer, Johnny Shuggy Oates, Jaleel Hutchins. Y'all know who that is?
Mm-mm.
One love. You're lucky just to have just one love. Okay. You don't know the song? The word
I thought you was finna say he was related to Al Hutchins.
Different things all together.
I thought you was about to be like he was related to.
Just like them.
I thought you was gonna say he was related to Al Hudson in one way.
Houdini. Okay. Clay Aiken. We got Billy Paul. We got Chicago's own Lou Rawls. We got Bette Midler. We got Vesta Williams. Daniel O'Connor from House of Pain. Nelly Furtado. Britney Spears. Juice WRLD. Andy Williams. Ozzy Osbourne. Montel Jordan. Brian Wilson. Cassandra Wilson. Deion Ferris from Arrested Development. Jay-Z himself. Sonny Boy Williamson. Little Richard. O'Brien. And Carrie Hilton. Those are the birthdays for this week. Now, my friend just popped up. We're going to add him in a second. But I've known this person for many, many, many years. And he left me and moved to France about 20 years ago. And he is the only person who will call me through Facebook and I will actually pick up. If somebody call me through Facebook, which is rare, I'm like, I ain't answering that. And I'm like, oh, it's Stan. And I'm always happy to hear from him. And he's like the coolest person you could ever want to know. He's super talented. He used to be with the group. Tawana, cue the song. Play just a little bit of it. I don't want no Facebook violations.
Well, it's his song, so you should say he owns the rights.
Right.
But he was in a group from Chicago. They made this R&B soul classic that so many of us from Chicago know and love. And he has also been doing his amazing Jimi Hendrix Tribute for over 35 years. And I'll tell y'all all about that. But my Chicago people, y'all know this song? Y'all remember this song? It's a jam. Okay, cut it. Y'all remember that? So I'm going to add in my friend, the amazing, super talented Mr. Stan Skibby, who woke up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it is there, to join us. How you doing, Stan?
I'm doing fine, Tammy and gang. Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. Just waking up, but I'm just fine.
I appreciate you so much. Wait, is your computer up?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Are you
turn your volume down?
Okay, my volume has to come down. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it down?
Well, yep, I think it's down. Well, no.
Is that good?
Put it on mute. Put it on mute.
Okay.
Put it on mute. You can listen back, or I'm going to hear the feedback. Let me hear the feedback.
I can hear you pretty good. You can't hear me?
No, we hear you, but we also
I can hear
hear
you pretty
me
good.
coming back to you.
but we also hear me coming back to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how you do that.
Let me see if that worked.
Let me see if that worked.
Wait, oh, no, that didn't work.
No, that didn't work.
Do you have your volume
Should I
up?
cut
Do you have your volume up on,
Or are you
turn it up?
watching through another device?
or are you watching through another device?
I can turn it
Down.
up.
Down.
Or
No,
down.
down.
No, down.
Okay. Is that better?
We'll see when I talk.
See when I talk.
Is that better?
Keeps coming.
Keeps coming.
I get it so
But
low.
we're gonna let you talk, so we won't hear me as much. What I would like you to do is tell everybody a little bit about how you got started in music.
Can
That
you
was
hear me
good.
better now?
I didn't hear you.
I didn't hear you.
Can I hear me?
Because I can hear you better. I did something else.
Okay.
Okay, what was your question?
Tell us how you got started in music.
Oh man, I got started in music like most typical African Americans. You come out doing it. Really,
In
you
church?
come out doing it. That's how I started with instruments. As a very young child, I was into the Motown sound. I was born in the latter part of the doo-wop era. Okay, so I was hip to the Motown. I started off as a drummer. Um, um, I listened to the British invasion. I was one of those kids that listened to all of it. Honestly, and I'm not just saying all of it just to say it because anybody can say it like that. I mean, I listened, not heard it. I listened to all of it. That's how I got started. So I wasn't formally trained. I taught myself. I did it my way. And not trying to be selfish or nothing, but that's the situation I was in. I'm born on the south side of Chicago, and you got to do what you got to do quick and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you started out playing drums, but when you heard Jimi Hendrix, and I heard you say that you switched. So what about him made you want to switch?
I switched. I started off playing drums first, and into the James Brown beats and all that stuff. And then when I heard the British invasion, and I saw this one guy who was Jimi Hendrix, that was at the forefront of all that hard, heavy, what we call heavy rock and this and that and other. It was really blues power. That's what it was. It's blues power. But anyway, we heard him, and I switched, Tammy, just like that. I just switched. My brother wouldn't play the guitar, and I just said, "Look, give me the guitar. I'm gonna play this guitar. I'm gonna give tribute to this brother here. He's dead, and he looks sad on this album cover, and something is telling me something. So that's when I started playing guitar.
And you're a left-handed guitar player too, right?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
And you've been doing your tribute for over 25 years all over the world.
I'm not gonna say all over the world, but I've covered the whole Western Hemisphere. England. I mean, not just England. Europe and the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've covered so far. The whole Western Hemisphere, which is pretty big.
I'm sorry.
I said, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had when I first started flying abroad, I didn't know that we were that much neighbors to Europe.
So Jimi Hendrix was only 27 years old when he passed away. And he only made 4 albums while he was alive. But I looked something up and it said that they've done like 84 posthumous releases since he passed away. Do you do mainly what's on the 4 albums, or do you do any of that other stuff that's later released after that?
Okay, I'm trying to really hear what you're saying. It is like bubbles in your speaking. It's bubbling. Blah 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 blah.
Mute your computer. Not your mic from speaking, but your playback.
Am I missing something?
Okay. Let's just try this.
Let's
Do you
try
do
again.
any of his music that was released after his death?
Yes, yes. There's a lot of his music that was released after his death. But that's bootleg. No one is supposed to have their hands on that music.
Mm. But
Jimmy
think
is a
about
very rare artist. He's the most rarest artist that Black people and the world has ever had. When he died, everybody went nuts over him. It didn't happen like that over all our R&B singers and everybody else. Only Hendrix, and I'm not lying. And if you didn't listen to him coming up, I can understand because the music was really hard, very hard. But his performances was very unique, and a lot of y'all's children is listening to him now because they know that his lyrics are very poetic. He has a lot of subjects to sing about, other than love, dance, and sex. A lot of subjects, Tammy, because you be doing little trivia things on your page, and you be asking people certain names, and every time you do that, I probably done gave you 50 different song names by Jimi Hendrix alone that had nothing to do with love, dance, or nothing else. That's what made me get into him. He had a lot to talk about. I wanted to know what was he talking about, and he had a lot of it.
So during his lifetime, Black radio didn't really support him and wouldn't play his music because they were so focused on like the Motown sound.
No, they
And things
didn't.
like that.
Right?
Do
They
you
didn't.
think?
I'm sorry. I can understand why they didn't. It didn't fall. They didn't. If they had went throughout his song repertoire, they could have found something that fit radio, but they didn't. They just look at it like this is Jimi Hendrix and he wild with the guitar and blah 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 blah, and that was it. They just scratched him off. They didn't give him a chance. They didn't. They really didn't. He was too far out there, though, Tammy. He was really, really far out there.
Do you think people are more accepting of him now? Like some hip hop artists have sampled him.
Yeah, well, you know what? It don't
Younger
mean nothing because
artists are doing
it
that.
don't mean nothing. They can't sample Hendrix. They need to sample with the other stuff that they've been listening to that loops. Hendrix is a guitar master. Ain't no what you sampling.
Well, no, he actually has like
right. He don't have that backbeat like rock and roll has a. He don't have a backbeat.
No, but I'm saying Outkast sampled him. So like a few hip hop artists have. So I'm just wondering, do you think that makes people now go back and listen to him?
I think it helps. I think it helps. Yep, I think it helps. Tammy?
Nicole, say something and see if you get feedback.
Hello. I still get feedback.
Nicole.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's because his volume is low. You don't get the feedback when he's talking because we're not coming back to his mic.
Well, I don't know why it's like that on you all's end because when Nicole spoke, it was sharp as a knife.
But we heard the echo.
Okay.
I'm wondering where's my laptop.
See, she's not echoing. I don't know why the other lady she's not echoing.
That's weird. I'm gonna remove you and add you back. Okay. Now, y'all say something.
I was trying to think so I can walk him through how to make him understand how to fix it.
Yeah. Okay. You back?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So when you were in Magnum Force, how did all that happen? How did y'all get y'all record deal?
We auditioned for Carl Davis Productions, the same guy that was producing the Shy Lights and all them cats and Gene Chandler. Well, we auditioned for them right when we got out of high school, pretty much. It wasn't long before we got out of high school. I was about 19 years old, and they dug what we were doing, and we got signed up like it wasn't nothing. I was flabbergasted because I didn't think we was hitting on too much at the time. I'm being honest with you, but then again, you can be so hard on yourself. You can hurt yourself like that, you know. We was the stuff to them, so that's how it happened. We had one audition, and they said you guys got it, and blam blam blam, and we had to change our name from Seville to Magnum Force. Our name was originally Seville. Someone told us that another band had that name, and we had to change it. So we changed it immediately and went straight to Magnum. They called it Magnum, and I said, well, you might as well go all the way and call it Force. That was me. Uh-huh.
I saw a video on YouTube. Y'all, copper box. Somebody said it was a copper box on Halsted back in the day.
Yep, that was the copper box. I'm sorry what happened to the host of the copper box. I heard he had a tragic death.
Oh.
But that was the copper box on what, 115th or something like that in Halsted?
Something like that.
Yeah, uh-huh. That's the copper box.
Do you ever?
That's a long time ago, Tammy.
Do you ever still talk to those guys?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'll be in touch with them as much as often. They're not musically active anymore. Only the lead singer, the one that actually sings "Share My Love," he's still active. But the other group members, they've doing something different with their lives. Uh-huh.
Okay. If they got back together, would you go out with them?
Well, every time they get back together for a reunion, I'm down with it. You know, I'm always down with it. I have returned a couple of times. You know, I'm the one. I quit when I see. That's what it was the power of Hendrix music. They told me, you don't need this, dude. You don't need it. Yep, go on and make your move. That's what made me quit.
How long you been in France?
I've been in France for 13 years.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And it's so peaceful over here, y'all. It's very peaceful. It really is. It's very peaceful. You know, you get a lot of peace of mind. It's much safer. Especially, I was born in Inglewood, and I know how Inglewood can be. And when I moved here, I didn't have to have the stress no more. I didn't have none of that, none of it. So if y'all, I don't know. You got to get these kids out of the wrong environments. Trust me, because it would do so much for them. They got to get out of that. They got to get out of that circle, that environment, whatever environment they in. They get out of that. They got it made. They really do, and they'll be respected elsewhere. Everybody don't have to come up in the same place. You know, I guess 3 brothers and 3 sisters. I'm the only one that left, so somebody's got to go.
Have you gotten back to being busy since the pandemic, or are you still slow?
Have I gotten back busy?
Yeah.
Yep. Just recently, as a matter of fact, I starting with another band that's giving like a tribute to the '60s, the blues and the rock and roll '60s part. And the name of the band is Grassroots, and we have a straight up rock legend in there. His name is Jim McCarty, and he was the original drummer from the Yardbirds. These guys was kicking up a storm in the 1963 and stuff like that. That's real primitive, you know. And a couple of other legends in there. A guy named Billy Boyd, Sebastian Smith. All these cats, they older than me. Yep, they older than me. I'm almost the little kid on the block. But it's a really exciting band to be a part of, and they're gonna enable me to record. And I got some stuff that fits Chicago like it ain't nothing, Tammy. I'm just gonna hit and move. That's all. I don't want to be stuck. You know what I mean? But I got something of course, because I know the history of the blues now, the electric blues. See, I know the history of the electric blues, which come out of Chicago. You know that, and I got that history down packed. So that is me. That is me. That's me, just like it's you and anybody else that come from Chicago. You just chose to be about R&B or rhythm and blues or something like that. But that is you. That's the first thing that started the electric blues.
So before I ask any more questions, I want to see if you ladies have any questions.
Do I have any questions?
The ladies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I have a question. When you were
Okay.
talking about how you went from drums and you went to guitar and you taught yourself and you wasn't, professionally trained or anything like that. Did you learn everything by ear?
Yes, I did, Nicole.
Do you still play by ear, or throughout the years you learned theory?
I've learned theory throughout the years, but I still depend on that ear because it's instantaneous. It's right there. As soon as you hear something bink, you hear it. You know, you ain't got to look for it to write it down or read it. You hear it right off the top. So yeah, I really, really depend on my ear. Uh huh.
So I don't want to get too far away, but how, when you were first, now I understand hearing it, playing what you hear. How did you learn the fretboard? Because I know now you've been playing for a long time. You can hear something and you know exactly where to go on that fretboard to play it. But learning, how did you learn the fretboard?
Most kids pick up fast. That's why when you see people be posting, they showing their little kids, oh, he's only 5 years old, blah blah blah. They right. Once they zero in on something, those kids, that's all she wrote. Everything is like nothing to them to learn, nothing. And there, before you know it, less than a year been and went by, and you notice that they have really learned a whole lot, and it ain't no stopping. So I think being young and committed made me learn fast because I wasn't. Well, it took a while to learn how to play chords. I knew how to solo before I knew how to play chords. I knew how to solo and do tricks before I knew how to play actual chords, which means you're playing the song, no solo. So I was a solo freak, but that's how I learned, by listening.
Tawana?
I hope I don't sound correct.
No, so Jimi Hendrix was also self-taught. He
Yep.
said, I read something that said that he actually really wanted to learn how to read music, and he wishes that he had frustration at times because he couldn't always play what he wanted to when he heard it. So that was a source of frustration for him, even though so many people thought he was like so amazing. He felt that he had shortcomings.
Well, I don't know what story that is. I don't know if you quoting something from Jimmy's interview, because one thing I learned is that everybody has a lot to say about him that doesn't even know him. And really, honestly, and it's mostly white folks because they wants to whitewash Jimi Hendrix and colonize him and all that kind of stuff. And they serious about that. This is your only artist that they really going ape shit bananas over, not nobody else. And I mean, he stands up to the last that we had, which is Prince and Michael. Jimmy's talent was uncut. It was really raw. You have to really watch him. You have to really look at how he was ahead of his time with the hair. Look how he was ahead of the time wearing clothes that fit him really good and looked nice on him. And look at the showmanship that he had on stage. And he was using a vocal, not singing. He was vocalizing his songs. Like, hey, baby, dig up, yeah. And he had such a cool way of doing it. It went down in history. That's all I can say. It went down. It must have been good. All of us were concentrating on how to sing good. Where he told his father when he went to England, Dad, I'm not going to try to sing good. He says, too many of them out there. He said, I'm going to go with the ugly voice. That was his words.
And I saw on an interview that you did where you said that. You said Jimi Hendrix wasn't a singer, he was vocalizing. And I was going to ask you, what did you mean exactly by that?
When you're using a vocal, you don't have to sing so good. You can, just like you hear the Stones. I was riding on down the way. You know, he's not trying to sing. He's not trying, even, they're not even trying to sing. They just putting their vocal out there. And, you know, singing is a, you know, that's a serious thing now. And Jimmy knew that, especially with black folk. He said, he told his daddy, they putting a band behind me. I'm not going to try to sing good. That's exactly what he told me. He said, I'm going to go with the ugly thing. He said, that's what's in. So Jimmy saw what was in for the white boys before anybody knew what was in. So he jumped on that bandwagon quick. And said, if I can just talk my way through my songs, and people can really hear my voice, you know, I may have something there. And he did, you know. But he could sing, because he got a couple of songs that he did sing, but he didn't make a big thing out of it. He was mostly a vocalist.
So what do you think drove you or navigated you to Jimi Hendrix? What was it about him that you felt like you connected to that made you want to give tribute to him for like over the last 35 years?
When I first was really seriously attracted, I was pretty young, like 11 or 12 years old, and I looked at a couple of album covers, because in them days we were buying out, especially me and my brothers, we were buying LPs according to how the rock band looked. That'll tell us if they was bad or not, how they dressed. So we saw Jimmy, and Jimmy, he had a strange looking outfit on with eyes on it. In the nose, like he looking at you. And he got this messed up afro that he wasn't trying to make look cute. He rub his hair and go out there and play, you know? And he was in some strong stuff. But what got me is that he was dead already. That was 1970. And then I listened to his guitar, and I couldn't believe it. I actually just sat down and let me listen to him play Machine Guns. Or who knows? Everybody's supposed to know that one, like they know Hey Joe. But I listened to this man play this brother. I'm gonna say it like it is, because that's how I looked at it. I was listening to Led Zeppelin and all of them, but I didn't feel close to them or their guitar players like I did the brother. And that's Hendrix. Yep. That brought me.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm okay.
I was going to say, I was listening to him a lot over the weekend, trying to refamiliarize myself with him, because I didn't listen to him until I met you. And I can't say that I've listened to him much over the years, but you were what originally got me listening to him. And what I heard over this weekend is like, you can't, even a lot of people think he's not, when you really listen to him, you hear the blues. You hear Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, influence. Like, you hear it in his playing. You feel it in his playing. Except he amped it up to like 1,000. And do you think that's the thing that a lot of black people back then couldn't get into, was just like how amped up he was?
It's really it's mixed. It's a lot of mixed things about there, because I remember bragging about him throughout the neighborhood. And hey man, check out Hendrix. You don't know Hendrix? Man, you ain't hip. That's what I tell him in a minute. You ain't hip. I already hip to what you listening to. I know you listening to the Temptations and all that. I know that. I'm asking you, are you hip to something you never heard? And they wasn't hip. And I said, okay, let me turn you on. So I turned them on to him, and they dug it. They knew he played the shit out their guitar, but they wasn't enough to make them say, I'm gonna buy an LP on him. I'm gonna buy one of his albums, because they wasn't listening to that. Just like a lot of the white kids wasn't listening to the R&B. That's the best way I can say. They wasn't the brothers wasn't looking at themselves as a guitar player. What if I play guitar? Okay, they didn't look up to him. They didn't look up to him. They just overlooked him, and everybody seemed like they wanted to be a badass singer and didn't want to play that instrument. That's the way I got it. You know, I turned the whole neighborhood on.
So So
Have you?
between 1967 and 1970, he only released 4 albums before he passed away. And he did so much in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
What do you imagine? What more do you think he could have, might have accomplished if he was around just a little bit longer?
I don't know. Are you asking me what would he had done if he was still here?
Yeah.
I have no idea, and I ain't gonna try. All I know is this one thing that he told us, and I stick to that. He said, "I'm a blues guitarist. No matter what everybody, all them sounds they heard, airplanes and machine guns, can't nobody play guitar like Hendrix." Hendrix said, "But I am a blues guitarist." So he would just had taken the blues further.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Stevie Ray came in, a lot of people started jumping on the bandwagon because they thought that he was so good and this and that and other. Now he kind of got in the way of part of the place that Jimmy would have taken, and he'd have took it a little bit better than that because it's a lot of blues riffs and scales and notes that has yet been discovered by one guitar player. It's a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
You can almost make a guitar actually talk if you're in tune with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you really get in sync with that guitar, like Jimmy was damn near born that way. Every time you see Jimmy, he had a guitar in his hand. I met his friends, his childhood friends, and everything. His band members, his girlfriends. I know his girlfriends today. I met his daddy, his sister, his brother. I met everything that has something. I'm a disciple. I'm gonna tell you like it is. That's how far I went with Hendrix, all the way. And it's real. It's heavy, Tammy. It's heavy. I'm a straight up follower of his music because it taught me so much. It taught me about the electric blues. I'm listening to the pedals, the wah wah, and the fuzz tones, all these guitar effects that people are using, and underneath that is blues.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, he playing the blues for real. He just know how to rock. That's what it was. You know how you have an artist? Look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson knew how to rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. He didn't come out with Dirty Diana to be playing with nobody. He showed us, boy, I can rock with the baddest rock players that you all know. And that's what he did. Yeah. Once you're an artist, though, you can reinvent yourself and you can do different things. So Jimmy, was a blues guitarist. I wouldn't say that he would be. I would say that he had a ear for sound and stuff like that. Maybe he would have been working in some capacity of filming because that's what he was. He was a genius or just a genius. Most of his friends will tell you he was a genius. Just like when you look at somebody like I know two other geniuses. Prince was another one, and so was Sammy Davis Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Davis Jr. was a real genius. Sammy Davis Jr. could sing just like all of your favorite singers back in his time. From Frank Sinatra to Nat King Cole, all of them, he can do their voice. And then when he do his voice, he was the strongest. He could do Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he played all instruments. And most blacks don't know that about Sammy Davis Jr.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played all instruments, and including horns. See, that's one of your first musical geniuses, is Sammy Davis Jr. When Mama used to say, "Y'all come on in here, Sammy Davis Jr. is on," and sometimes we're showing him off because we want to hear "My Girl" or "Ooh Baby Baby" or whatever was going on at that time. And Mom and Dad just be constantly saying, "Y'all better come check Sammy Davis Jr. out." He was a genius.
Because I don't know. Have you ever, outside with Magnum Force, have you ever recorded any of your own original?
Only one of mine I did in Poland back in 2020. And prior to that, I have played on other people's stuff, guitar solos and stuff like that. Nothing to brag about though. I'm about to record my stuff finally now during this pandemic.
So I was wondering, besides the Magnum Force and doing the tribute band that you do, have you ever played behind any other celebrities or subbed for anyone or anything like that?
Yes, ma'am. I played behind most of the electric blues players, starting with the top man, Buddy Guy. I
Yeah, I know
played,
him too.
I played with Buddy Guy and his brother, and John Primer, and Otis Rush, um, a whole lot of them.
So my
Um,
family used to play with him. I wonder if you know any of my uncles that
okay,
played drums, bass,
I
guitar.
probably
Herman
know them.
Applewhite, Nate Applewhite.
Nate Applewhite.
He was a drummer,
Okay,
blues in Chicago.
is he still a drummer?
He passed away.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't. That doesn't ring a bell. But I remember Muddy Waters' drummer. His drummer was Woody Big Eye Smith.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. That was Muddy's drummer. That was yep. And then what's his name? Buddy Guy ended up being Muddy's guitar player. But I played with a lot. I met Albert King and his wife. I met a lot of them. I played with a lot of them. That's just the blues now. I did the same thing with the reggae, and I did the same thing with the R&B and the funk. Because I played with Midnight Star and what's his name? Heat Wave, the Daz Band, all those guys. I go by genre.
Hmm.
I go back because when I play a style of music, if I'm playing R&B, I'm not gonna play no Hendrix. I'm playing straight R&B. When I get away from that, I change over everything, the look and the dress. It's time to play some reggae. I got to give some years for that, okay? When I pull out of that, I'm blues. Uh-huh. And keep on going. Funk, same thing. You turn into that now, and you become it. You just don't be an artist and say, oh, I play everything. We used to talk like that when we was teenagers. No, you ain't playing everything until you really stop playing that and then play this. Not just one song. So yeah. Different styles. I met some of the greatest people in rock, some of the greatest people in blues and R&B and funk and funkadelics too. See, Hendrix guitar style will get you around. I'm not gonna lie about that. You're gonna get around with that because everybody gonna say he play like Jimmy. There it is right there. That's the buzz because wasn't nobody playing like Hendrix, especially no brothers. They wasn't giving no tribute to Jimmy at all. It really wasn't. But that's okay. They sons are gonna do it now. I see them. These youngsters is up on Hendrix real good now, and they learning. I'm just sorry they have to learn some of the wrong stories because when he died, everybody was scavenging over everything that he had, and a lot of people tell a lot of lies, and they write the book, and they still writing a lot of lies. So they just have to, if they get spiritual and pick up with his vibe was, they'd be all right. Because black man always been the best with this guitar. That's his thing. He come out of slavery making the damn guitar. Black man is serious with that guitar. My mama used to tell me, boy, you play that guitar and you sing, boy, you're gonna be something dangerous. Because she used to try to make me sing BB King. My mom from the Delta, and my daddy from Tennessee. And my mama was the one that was pushing me the most and saying, you ought to play some BB King. And she wasn't lying. As an artist and a musician and a guitarist, she was right on the money. My daddy was pushing Chuck Berry on me. And I gave tribute to Chuck in Vegas. But my mama was pushing BB King, and I couldn't see it when I was a kid. I see it all now. All of it.
No, I read something, you tell me if it's true. But they said that Jimi Hendrix started learning to play on I don't know if it was a fiddle or whatever, that had one string, something that he found when he was working with his daddy because they couldn't afford to get a guitar. So he found this and he taught himself how to play on this instrument that had one string. And he taught himself with no.
I don't know how true that is, but I know that Jimmy was about 13 or 14 years old, and when he picked up the guitar, his hands was already growing. So, you know, his daddy bought he strummed. His daddy said he strummed on the broomstick.
Yeah, they said he started with that.
That's it. That's what his daddy said. He said, I got tired of seeing him strumming on their broomstick, so I went on and bought him one. So these other people's stories are different.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well, I
maybe
know
his
they said
daddy.
eventually he got one, and I don't know. Like you said, people tell their pieces of truth, but I know what I read, and you don't know until you can verify this stuff. Was that the teacher tried to give him an instrument, but the school wouldn't fund it. They couldn't afford one. The school wouldn't fund it. That's when he found a fiddle and eventually started teaching himself. And then eventually they bought one. They bought a guitar and he really started learning.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I only go by what his daddy say. His daddy said, I got tired of him strumming on the broomstick and putting straw all on the floor. I was went on and got him a guitar.
So what do you
See,
think about music?
I go by what his family and what they be saying. Because some of these writers out here, they are not related to him, and they can say anything and get away with it. And white folks seems to be real credible to each other when they put something out. They don't look at it. How do you know so much about this black man? They don't question them. They go on and buy the book, and they'll lie.
So what do you think about music now? And the fact that music has become less musical in a lot of ways. And part of it is because they stopped teaching it in schools, which I wish they hadn't, because I feel like we were really deprived. Because then you really had to have money in order to learn it, because you didn't have that outlet in schools to help you come up and learn it. What do you think it would take for kids to get back to really understanding the importance of really knowing the instruments that you want to play and understanding how to move in a song to make it go somewhere, so it's not just repetition?
I think they're gonna have to come up with well, blacks need to start thinking on their own, because music is not taken away from whites in school. They even use Hendrix as a subject.
It's true.
They teach Hendrix in school. It's blacks that let them pull that on them instead of saying, you look, excuse me, look, nigga, don't put your hand on these instruments. We gonna keep these in our school. What's your problem? Sometimes you gotta come hard. You ain't no sense of coming no other way, because you ain't never being heard that way. They have to gangster them instruments right back in the school like they supposed to, and give them kids an opportunity to use their ear and pick up what they want to play, and leave it alone, and stop letting some other culture dictate your culture. They have nothing. They don't know that you got to have it. It is a part of us. It is a part of us. It's not like that with them. They have to teach them all that type of stuff. We automatically got it, and they should have never let them take that out of school. I know everybody don't practice the same religion, but they still should have kept religion in the school some kind of way. I don't know which one you're going to use, but use one that use the best one. That's all I can say. But leave it in there. Leave it in there, because they put some fear in them kids a little bit, and let them know there's something bigger than me out here. If I keep being a fool, I'm gonna get served. They'll learn something from it. They'll learn, because they're not learning nothing today. They crazy to me. I don't have no kids. I try to relate. I try to relate to them, but these kids today is crazy. I'm telling you, yes, they are. Man,
there is something definitely bigger than all of us, and whatever it is that you choose to believe in, there is something. So we're going to wind down in a second. I just want to thank you for waking up in the middle of the night And talking to me, I really appreciate it. Where did we meet? I'm trying to remember. Did we meet at Kingston Mines or did we meet at a blues fest?
I don't remember exactly where we met, but first of all, I want to say to the two young ladies that was on standby, Nicole and the other one, I didn't get her name.
Tawana.
But thank you all for listening. I hope I wasn't too boring. I'm just telling.
Absolutely not.
Thank you,
I
sister.
wanted to say that I really appreciate just who you are. You come across as very humble and down to earth, considering who you are and where you've been in life and the things that you've done. A lot of people are very arrogant, don't want to share their knowledge. And so I appreciate you coming on speaking with us.
Oh, God bless the both of you all. You too.
And I do have a question that I may have Timmy ask you later about being a left-handed guitarist, because there aren't a lot that I know. You make three. There are two other people that are here in Chicago, and I just wanted to ask you really quickly, being a left-handed guitarist, did that kind of make things a little harder for you to learn the guitar? Because a lot of teachers that I've seen, they are all right-handed, and you can find a right-hand guitar very quickly. It's hard. Like, my husband's a left-hand guitar player. His name is Chip. And there's one other gentleman that he grew up with named Chris here in Chicago. And sometimes he would say that it was hard for him to learn when he got to school because they think it's upside down. So Prez is a left-hand guitar. He's a lefty, but he plays right hand because that's what he was taught. And do you also feel that it would probably be easier to get a gig because the fascination with people playing left-hand guitar?
Wow, that's a good question. That second one, I'm gonna go with that first one. It doesn't have to be difficult if they play the strings right side up, because it make no difference if you're left-handed or right-handed when it comes to playing. The difference is, are your strings upside down or right side up? That's that difference. If they upside down, you're gonna have a lot of obstacles. But it can be done because the greatest upside down player was Albert King. He was the greatest upside down guitar player, and now you got one great young Eric Gales. He's upside down, but if they turn the strings around, they got it made. Now playing left-handed, sometimes people they see that you're left-handed, they automatically put you in the building with Hendrix. They just know you're gonna play some Hendrix, and you might have a lot of pressure on you if you don't play Hendrix. If you don't play him, you have a lot of pressure because they're gonna look at you like that. They did me the same way. Okay. Every time I set up on stage, I didn't have to try to dress like him or nothing. I strapped that guitar left-handed. Oh man, you gonna play some Jimi Hendrix? Go crazy, man. And I'll be like right on time because I know his stuff. I know his stuff. A lot of times I had problems with the other music genres because I was known for playing the Hendrix, and no matter if I was in reggae, funk, or whatever, I still got a request to do Hey Joe. And isn't that amazing? They'll stop and say, look, we're gonna do this because they know how dedicated. I didn't ask them, and they'll do Hey Joe, and I'm gonna do Hey Joe. So I think that to make it get back to what you were saying, if you're left-handed, you're gonna automatically get a lot of attention. Automatically, automatically from everyone, because you doing something on the opposite side.
Well, I appreciate you, like I said, waking up in the middle of the night and coming on here for me. You left 13 years ago. I don't know why. I think it was like longer ago than that. But you have always just cool. Whenever I used to come to you and bug you, ask you anything, or when you would just call and check on me, or whatever, I always appreciate it. Nicole, he is definitely always been just a genuine down to earth. And so we are going to wrap up. You going back to sleep?
No, I'm. You know what? I'm gonna have to practice now. I may have to practice. Yep, I'm up. I have to practice because I have a show coming up in December. But that's okay. I went to
But
bed
before
early
we
so I
go,
can get up.
if
Hmm.
you had to give these young kids any advice about music and getting staying dedicated and practicing and doing whatever, what would you say to them to do for their craft?
Okay, one more time, just the beginning part. If I want to what?
Give any advice to this younger generation of musicians
Got
that
it.
are coming up.
I would say go back to the natural instruments, please. Go back to the natural instruments. It's something so special about that it beats the hell out of automation. I know you're trying to make the money in the studio. I understand automation. You in the studio, it has to be done quick. But do not rule out playing live. You feeling something, some real stuff from these people on this stage. I say stay with them instruments and believe in the creator, because the creator is the one that's going to that's going to gift you to do it. He already gave it to us. That's why I don't never say my music. I always say music. I don't have no music. I have songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that artist that say, yeah, I be doing my music. No, it's not my music. I be doing my songs. Put it to you like that. My arrangements. The music is everybody's. And it's only 12 notes in there, counting flats and sharps. So it belongs to all of us. No one can claim to say it's my music. It sounds so selfish and arrogant. It really does, because it's not your music. It's your song. You use the music to make your song. You use the same notes to make your song. So that's how I approach the music. I say I play music. It's not mine, but I do write songs with the music. I'm keeping it real. I
Okay.
had to grow to that one. I'm keeping it real. Yep. But
Okay.
Tammy, it's a pleasure. I haven't seen you in a while. You look simply marvelous,
You
darling.
look great too. I still gotta get to
No,
France.
I look like I've been fighting all night trying to get the right proper sleep. I've been trying to get the right sleep. But thank you anyway. But hey, you got a couple of good-looking young ladies on here. I want to thank all of you all. Leave you all with peace and love. I swear. Are you all off? Are you all from Chicago or Atlanta, Georgia? Chicago.
We all originally
Chicago.
from Chicago.
Oh man,
I'm
God,
still here.
boy, y'all have no idea how much I miss my Chicagoans. I'm telling you the truth. No idea. I really would love to return just to be there. It's a powerful city. I just left because you really want to know why I left? I'm an artist. That's why. Nothing else. I had nothing against Chicago. I'm just an artist. An artist like to move around. I'm not going to be living in France all my life.
Do you
I'm
like it
trying to
there?
see what's happening in Ghana.
You like
See,
it there?
I heard a lot of things about Ghana.
No,
Hmm.
I mean where you are now.
Oh, France, far as safety and stress free, I love it. Oh yes, it feels good to walk down the street at 2 and 3 in the morning, and you ain't got to watch your back. You don't, and you got that. You already got something in you to say watch your back because of where you from. But trust me, you would not be using that much. Mm-mm. You'll be relaxed. You can think better. You really can. You can adjust your life better. My life made a tremendous change at the age of 50 or 51. That's when my life changed. I'm 63 now. 51 is when yep, 51, 50 is when it changed. That's right. Yep. I came over here and everything changed. Hair grew down to my backside. Skin cleared up better. I was eating better, feeling fresh, feeling young because I'm somewhere different. And I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I'm an artist. I'm gonna keep moving anyway.
So one last question, because we'll be on
Yes.
here all night. But
Sorry.
so a lot of musicians they move to LA. LA is really expensive. So a lot of musicians I know, they're like roommates because you can't afford it unless you're just making a lot of money. So living there in France, what's the cost of living difference there as opposed to over here?
Living in France is can be expensive, but then again, you're dealing with a more powerful dollar, which is the euro dollar, which is stronger than the U.S. dollar. Um, I don't find it. I find it more affordable living over here than over there. Because you can live in all kind of neighborhoods, and they not nowhere near as bad as the ones over there. So you really gotta pay. Part of you is paying to be in a decent neighborhood where people are not crazy.
Yeah.
That's a big part right there, where people are not, where you can trust people. I'm living in a neighborhood where I can trust them to a certain degree, certain extent. I can trust them. hmm and it's not so bad. And I don't know. I might want to buy a house over here someday. It depends on how things work out for me musically. But I don't know about LA. LA. I used to live in LA. LA is expensive. It's rough in the United States. I don't know what kind of squeeze they putting on you all over there, but they're not giving you all enough safetyness, and they're not helping you get rid of a lot of stress that you are dealing with. They don't deal with that over here. They really don't. You can't even have a gun over here where I'm at. There's no gunshot.
Mm.
No gunshot. No guns nowhere. You cannot have a gun. They will come and get you. You cannot have a gun. You have to fight it out.
Hmm.
And that's the truth. Yeah, if you get into some serious stuff, And they don't have guns. If they stick you up, they'll stick you up with a knife. That isn't it. I hate to think about those things, but doesn't that make it a lot better right there?
Peace of mind is worth a lot.
Heck yeah. I mean, I don't want nobody putting no gun up in my face talking about give it up. Oh my God, man. Man, you walking down the street and we getting older. You get jumped just for nothing. That's not happening like that over here. That's not happening like that over here. And this ain't the best place. It's just much safer on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm gonna give over there a 10. Over here, I'm gonna give them a 2.5. See, that's the real difference. I give over here when it comes to crying and being uncomfortable and stress and all this crazy stuff. I give France a 2.5, especially the part of France I live in, which is Alsace, France. I don't live in Paris, France. Because Paris, France, they crazy over there. They really are. This is peaceful. This is a lot of mountains and stuff, and this is more. It's more. You communicate with the Lord in this spot if you know what you're doing.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you waking up so much. I do. I know it's the middle of the night over there. It was so good to see you. And we gotta keep in touch more.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to say God bless the three of you. I mean that, and your children. Y'all will be in my prayer. Okay.
Thank you. So I just want to say goodbye. Thank y'all for joining us. Good night.
Good night.
So that's how I say it.